Hello everyone, welcome back to Interview with Experts Season 5. My name is Dharmini from the Academic and Research Bureau of Malaysian Dental Students Association, MDSA. Our special guest today is Prof. Dr. Prashanti Echampati, who is currently working as a HOD of Prosthodontics in Melaka Manipal Medical College. Her research interest includes oral health and dental implants. Prof. Prashanti, on behalf of MDSA, thank you for accepting our invitation.
Hi, Dharmini. I'm so privileged and honored to be here with you all today, and thank you for this invitation. It means a lot to us. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, without further ado, let's start with the first question. Prof, can you tell us a little bit about where you are from and what piqued your interest in dentistry?
Oh, all right. I belong to a place called Hyderabad, and it is in south of India. You must have heard about it because it's very famous for biryani.
Yes.
Um, yeah, so I come from that place, and I belong to a family of doctors. My mom is a gynecologist. My several aunts and uncles are doctors. My brother is an orthopedic surgeon. My sister-in-law is also a doctor,
Wow.
and that way, I belong to a family of doctors. And right from my childhood, I had this aspiration that I should become a doctor. And my father, who is a doctorate, not a medical doctor, but he always wanted me to become a doctor. And my mom is my inspiration, and I always thought I will walk in her footsteps and become a gynecologist. But as they say, destiny drives. I missed the medical seat by a few ranks, and I ended up in dentistry. But I'm very glad I did, because that's where I found my husband, my partner, my life mate, that is Prof. Sumant. And so that's why I said maybe everything is linked, and that is why I was pushed towards dentistry. And I'm the first dentist in my family. So that way, it's actually destiny drives, not really by choice that I chose dentistry. Because given a choice, I would have preferred to go and do medicine and become a gynecologist.
True, ma'am. Everything happens for a reason.
Yes.
Okay, next. Can you share with us your story leading to your current position as HOD of Prosthodontics in MMMC?
Oh, that's a very interesting question. And you said story, because when you say story, I'm reminded of several key people who are involved in this story, because uh, the people are the ones who make a story beautiful and more meaningful. So I think I should start off by telling you that my parents and my husband are the key people who actually insisted that I pursue my post graduation. And I did my post graduation after I got married. So you must understand the support I got from my family to actually go in and accomplish this goal. And very interestingly, when I was going for my counseling and I had to go and select the seats for post graduation, I told my husband one thing. I said, except prosthodontics, I will choose any other subject. That's fine with me. And when I reached the counseling site, they said, only prosto seat is available. You take it or leave it, because there are several people waiting to get a postgraduate seat. And I had no choice. I said, oh, God, what do I do now? But I just went ahead and took prosthodontics. But as they say, uh, if a teacher is so loving and if a teacher is passionate about the subject, I think somehow they instill that into their students. And that is exactly what happened, that I was so lucky to have a great teacher, a mentor, Professor Suresh Sajjan, who taught me prosthodontics. He almost took me by hand and led me through this journey of prosthodontics. That is a specialty which I did for 3 years. And at the end of this 3 years, I fell in love with the subject. And you know that today I very passionately teach prosthodontics. And once I finished my post graduation, I joined MCOD's Mangalore, that is Manipal College of Dental Sciences, Mangalore, where already Prof. Sumant, my husband, was working. And another key person I should remember in the journey is Dr. Surendra Shetty, who was the dean at that time. And his administrative capabilities, his balance between personal and professional aspects really inspired me. And after 6 years of working there, I joined Prof. Sumant in Malacca Manipal Medical College and Faculty of Dentistry, that is in Malaysia, that is in Malacca campus. And after coming here, I was totally lost because the system which we follow in India and the system we follow in Malaysia are totally different. And also the assessment practices, teaching methodologies are slightly varied. But again, the key person who I should mention, who mentored me after I came to Malaysia, is our Dean, Prof. Abdul Rashid Haji Ismail. And because of Sir's patience, his love and care for the faculty, and how much he has given us is, I cannot say in words. And because of him, we learned so many things, and I'm able to actually head the Department of Prosthodontics proudly, I can say, mainly because of the mentoring which I received from Sir. So you can see that several people, are involved in the success story of any person, or even the journey, what you call, of several any person. And to top it all, I have to say the cherry on top, right? The cherry on top is that I have always received great support from excellent teachers, excellent faculty and friends who are like, my colleagues who I work with. And of course, my husband and my daughter, without whose support, I don't think I would balance both home front as well as the professional front. So that is the cherry on top that I feel very blessed to be surrounded by all these people. Yeah, that is my story, that many.
It's a very inspiring story, ma'am, and I'm sure you will inspire a lot of students in our campus to pursue prosthodontics as well.
I hope so. I hope so.
Okay, next question, ma'am. What is the criteria to be a good dentist or prosthodontist?
I have only a very simple and straightforward criteria. Whether you are a dentist, prosthodontist, or any other professional, I think you should have a passion, for the profession. You should have the passion for your subject, and you should have that passion for your patients, treating your patients and teaching your students. Whatever work you are doing, you should be passionate about it. So that passion is the main criteria, I think, which will take us successfully in a long way. And that is what I tell all the students, that please be passionate about whatever you are trying to do and be the best of whatever you are trying to do. So that is the criteria, I think, which will make us successful, whether it is a dentist or a prosthodontist.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, next. Prof, you have designed a soft palatal gouge which is registered under the Intellectual Property of India in 2016. Could you explain to us more about the device and how is it used?
Okay. This is interesting because as a student, I always had, a great difficulty in understanding when teachers try to explain the soft palatal classification, class 1, class 2, class 3. And I used to wonder how are they able to make out this angulation between the hard and soft palate by just visualizing in the naked eye. And I faced the same problem when I became a teacher, struggling how to make the students understand, what is class 1, class 2, and class 3. So that led to the invention, I would say, of this instrument, which is called as a soft palatal gauge. And along with my colleague and friend, Professor Kiran, we came up with this instrument, which we call the soft palatal gauge. And it is actually an instrument placed inside the mouth, which will help us objectively measure the angulation of the soft palate. And we sent it for a patent and it got published, and we are waiting for the patent number currently. So once we get hold of the number, we can commercialize it, and we can also use it for several research purposes. We need to still explore where all we can use this soft palatal gauge and how to expand its applications. All this we need to do, and we are looking forward to that.
Well, ma'am, that's very impressive. Okay, next.
Thank you.
Could you share with us your most fulfilling part of your career and any interesting experience, maybe during your postgraduate days?
Fulfilling part of career, okay, if you say. So the career, I would say, started off with the end of my post-graduation. So I received the best outgoing student as well as the gold medal in prosthodontics. And that was the beginning of my career, which was very inspiring and motivating, because when I received that award, I could see that pride in the face of my family as well as my teacher, who I was mentioning, Professor Suresh Sajjan. So that was a gift I could give him for actually taking me along in this journey of prosthodontics. And second, very memorable moment for me is when I received the Best Teacher Award in 2009, because I think I'm a very, very passionate teacher, and I love to teach my students. And when I receive appreciation from my students, I don't think any better gift is there for a teacher. And I would also like to share one very interesting story which happened during my career. So as I told you, Suresh Sajjan sir is my mentor in prosthodontics, and he has inspired me to become whatever I am today. So I had taught several batches of students in MCOTS Mangalore, and one of my undergraduate student, she went ahead and pursued the post-graduation in prosthodontics. And she, after finishing prosto, she went for a job interview in India. And to my surprise, she went to this college where Suresh Sajjan sir was the dean, and he was interviewing my student, and they didn't know each other at all. Neither did I know that she's going for this interview. So when sir questioned her, who inspired you to take up prosthodontics and why did you take up prosthodontics? So she said, it seems that I was inspired by my teacher, Dr. Prashanti. And sir suddenly was like, taken by surprise that he is talking to the student of his own student. And he immediately called me right from that interview panel. He called me and said, do you know who is sitting in front of me? And I said, no, sir. Then he says, your student so-and-so is sitting in front of me. And she says that she is inspired by you to take up prosthodontics. And I was telling him on phone that I am inspired by you to become the prosthodontist I am. So this is very, very memorable to me and a very proud moment, because it's like a chain. You see, a very good teacher can inspire another to become a good teacher, and another can inspire another. So that way the chain continues. And this is a very, very memorable moment for me, Dharmini, in my career.
That was a very sweet story, ma'am. Okay, moving on, ma'am, to your next question. One of your specialties is in implantology. Can you tell us briefly what it is and why are you interested in this field?
Okay. Implantology, as you know, is the modality of treatment for replacement of missing teeth today. Whether it is partially edentulous or completely edentulous situations, it is having a plethora of options. And I think the future of dentistry lies in the hands of implantology. And as a professional, I always believe that we should go ahead with the recent trends. We should learn about the recent trends so that we not only benefit our students by teaching the recent trends, we will also benefit our patients by giving them the best modality of treatment. So implantology is a multi-speciality branch, I would say, where periodontists are involved, oral surgeons are involved, prosthodontists are involved, radiologists are involved, and it has wide scope for different specialities to master several aspects of it. And it is very interesting to me to take up implantology, and I'm very happy to say that our institution is associated and affiliated with ICOI, that is International Congress of Oral Implantology of USA, and we conduct a implant fellowship program here, and I am one of the core members of that team, which is headed by Professor Sunil. So I am very happy to be a part of this team and be abreast with the recent technology and trends, so that I can teach my students and as well practice it on my patients to give them the best.
Thank you. And ma'am, this is the last question.
Okay.
Do you have any advice for the current dental students who wish to further in prosthodontics or implants?
All right. My advice to any of the dental students who want to pursue their career either in prosthodontics or implantology or any branch of dentistry as such is to master the fundamentals, because fundamentals are core. Without having a strong foundation, you will not be able to sustain a building on it, isn't it? Similarly, if your fundamentals are not strong, your concepts, your core concepts are not strong, you will not be able to build on it. What I see is today's generation of students a little on the side where they want success instantaneously. You know, overnight success is not possible. We have to go stepwise and build on that skills and knowledge, and that is the way to success. There is no shortcut to success. So that is what I want to share with all my students and other dental undergraduates or whoever is trying to pursue prosthodontics. Please remember, learn stepwise and master your fundamentals, the core concepts on which you need to build up on the several recent trends and the skills which are, emerging. So that is what you need to do. Yes.
Okay, thank you, ma'am, for your kind advice. Okay, ma'am, we move on to the rapid round. Are you ready?
Okay, let's see. Let's hope I will give you some answers which are meaningful.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm ready.
All right. First of all, okay, if you could visit anywhere in the world, where would you go?
If I could visit anywhere in the world, my answer would be that wherever Prof. Suman, my husband, goes, I will just follow him simply because I think that is the most safest and favorite place of mine beside him and with my family. So that's my answer. Although there are several destinations which are favorite to me, the best, if you ask me, then it's wherever Prof. Suman goes. Yeah.
Ma'am, that's too sweet. Okay, next, what is your favorite song and could you sing a little bit for us?
Okay, there are several songs which are favorite to me. But if you want me to just pinpoint one, I may try to do so. It's a Hindi song which says, "Kuch to log kahenge, logo ka kaam hai कहना." That means that people keep talking so many things. There are several people who are out there maybe criticizing you, trying to pull you down, but we don't need to, heed to everything what they say, and we should just keep moving on because otherwise the time gets lost and life gets over. um, it's a little bit of a philosophical kind of a song, not that I'm a very philosophical person, but it's a very good advice to people who get demotivated by comments or criticism. So it goes like this: कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे, लोगों का काम है कहना, छोड़ो बेकार की बातों में कहीं बीत न जाए रहना, कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे, लोगों का काम है कहना.
Wow, ma'am, that was amazing. You sound so beautiful. Next time, I think for any student teacher activity, I think we know who we have to call to sing.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. I would be honored because singing is my another passion after teaching, I should say.
Oh, okay, good to know, ma'am. Okay, moving on. What is the first thing you notice about someone when you first meet?
Maybe they smile, not because I'm a dentist, but I somehow feel that a smile, a true smile, is a reflection of your soul. And a warmth in that smile and the twinkle in the eyes, something which captures me. And I believe that smile is the only thing which sets everything right, isn't it? So I think I notice the smile first in anyone. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, next, what is one quote that you live by?
A quote which I live by. Okay. I may have to just quickly see because there are several quotes which are a favorite of mine. But maybe one thing is one thing which may which I may share today would be that to make a difference in someone's life, you don't have to be brilliant, rich, beautiful, or perfect. You just have to care genuinely from the heart. And this is a quote I truly live by because I don't think anything else is more important to anyone else except that care and concern, which is not a show off, but genuinely from the heart.
Thank you, ma'am. That was very truthful. Okay. Next, ma'am, if you could eat one food for your whole life, what would you eat?
That would be potato, potato, and potato. So anything made with potato is my favorite, and I think you can leave me in the island of potatoes, and I would survive for how many ever years.
Anyways, ma'am, boil it anyway, you're fine with potatoes.
Yes, yes. Any form except raw though. Any form.
Okay, ma'am.
Because I guess the love is because many of the Indian savory items are made of aloo. Aloo is potato,
Potato.
and several of my mom's dishes also I miss are made up of aloo bonda and samosa and so many things I could name. And my mouth is watering right now, and I blame you for this, for reminding me my favorite, which is not like readily available here.
Yes, so sorry, ma'am. Okay,
No, no,
okay, ma'am. What are your hobbies?
one hobby you have understood. One hobby is singing,
Singing.
and I usually try to learn the new Bollywood songs or anything which is very touching, and I constantly keep singing. And the second hobby I have is I would say interior decoration, because every fortnight, Prof. Suman says the whole house is changed, and then he's like wondering whether he's entering the right house or not. Because usually I do that when he's away, and he goes to the market. By the time he comes back, the whole house is revamped. So I like interior decoration a lot, and you could see that in my room as well, in our
Yeah, I
college.
think I've seen.
Yeah, so interior decoration is something which is my hobby. Yes.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, lastly, what is one thing you liked and disliked during this MCO?
Okay. The thing I liked during MCO is one thing, we could really spend a lot of time with family. My 12-year-old daughter Sanskriti, and also we had several video chats. All our birthdays fell in this MCO period, and I felt that we actually could connect better, because during non-MCO times I don't think we would have the Skype calls and cake cuttings in the video, and everybody all over the world, all the relatives were there on Zoom, and we really bonded much with the family, I felt. The thing I didn't like about is there was a lot of negativity when we switch on the TV, the news channels, the social media. I understand at this time, but unnecessarily there was negativity being spread by people. So that was disturbing to me. But otherwise, the bonding which we had during the MCO was really memorable. And also, I could do a lot of my research work and paperwork and publication work. So we utilized the MCO productively. That is also something which I liked about. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, that is all for the interview today. Thank you, Prof, for your wonderful sharing and sparing some time with us for this interview. I'm sure the
Thank you so
students
much.
and audience will be able to gain a lot from this interview. Thank you, Prof, once again, and thank you everyone for watching.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Dharmini,
Prof.
and thank you, MDSA, on behalf of me and Faculty of Dentistry. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof.